Hello and welcome inside the Mattamy Athletic Center for a game tonight that has a potential to be a historic one in the Ryerson Rams women's hockey program history. I'm Kyle Cushman, joined today by Jackson Farrow and Bowen Cunningham, and I think it's fair to say that tonight has the potential to be the biggest game in program history. That's exactly it, and while they're in this position because they were able to get the win away from home on Wednesday night and a massive result at U of T as we take a look at some of those highlights. A great game from the Ryerson Rams in this one. And how about that goal from Avery Horlak getting on Sportsnet there, that first one with the toe drag and the move in front, and Lauren Nicholson with the absolute rocket. But coming out of this game, there are still some questions for both teams. For U of T, the big question is in goal. 3 goals against on 25 shots for Erica Fryer. She gets to start again tonight, but what are your thoughts on that decision? A big decision here tonight for them, going with Fryer back in net, but across the town, it's the York Lions with a massive performance against the number 2 seed Nipissing Lakers, and York, they're headed to the finals. Exactly. Well, for more on tonight's matchup, we go now to our commentators. Wow, wow, wow. What a game there. Double overtime, Taylor Trussler with the hat trick winning double overtime goal. Just an incredible game all around. Just your initial takeaways after that incredible game. Yeah, the intensity here was incredible as we take a look at some of those overtime highlights. I mean, what an incredible game. It took a lot longer than we expected to finish this one off, but chances both ways. Both teams played excellent the whole 85 minutes, I guess you could say, but it's Taylor Trussler that comes out on top with the game-winning hat trick. Yeah, as the game went on, it was more and more the veterans taking over, the high-end players of each team getting more and more minutes, and 85 minutes of hockey is tough, and having to go up and now play a game 3, it's going to be fascinating to see how that game goes and really how the fallout from this game impacts that one. Yeah, when you look at those high-danger chances, 28-19 for Toronto, and when you look at those numbers, you just think back to the goaltenders and how is this only a 4-3 game that ends in double overtime, right? This should have been a much, much higher scoring game. You look at the time on attack, you look at everything in this game, and the goalies really stole the show, but there's a lot of different takeaways for both of these teams, and it starts on the special teams. The penalty kill obviously was fantastic for both teams in this game, but you have to fix that power play going into game 3 and for whoever moves on against the York Lions. Yeah, as we take a look at the upcoming games, I mean, tomorrow at Varsity Stadium, going in back-to-back games after playing into double overtime. That's going to be very, very tough. It's going to be interesting to see how both coaches use their lines, maybe some of the depth players that didn't really get into the game as much in this one, but going to be fascinating to see that, and then obviously the McCaw Cup championship game next Saturday. Double overtime final home game here at the Mattamy Athletic Center for all of the Ryerson teams in this one. So coming out of this one, double overtime loss, obviously heartbreaking, but what are your final thoughts coming out of this game?
If the penalty kill's working, the coach is doing something right.
You look at the power play, though, and you wonder what's happening the other way. But no, you mentioned Krishanda Green, her final home game here at the Mattamy Athletic Center. A shout out to her and the fellow seniors on that team as well, Laura Ball and Carly Newmakoski. A shout out to some of our seniors as well, the final Rams Live of this season. So a shout out to Maverick, Brandon, Jared, Jake, and Kyle, all behind the scenes, who put in countless amounts of hours into Rams Live here. So we can't thank them enough for all the effort that they've put in over their years here. But with that, Rams Live comes to a close for the 2019-20 season. If you tuned in at all this year, thank you so much, and we'll be back for next season. Have a good one.
Miller to the point. Shankar over to Hyman. 2 defensemen on this unit for the Rams. A shot in close, scores. Patrick Fellows in the slot, and the Rams are up 1-0. Santos on that right wing. Sends it in front. Barwell backhand scores. What a play from Matt Santos to get it to Barwell, and a fantastically placed backhand shot beats Jonathan Reinhart, and just like that, the Ryerson Rams are up 2-0. Back to Zach Shankar. Shankar stepping into the play, and he'll find his right winger. That's Patrick Fellows into the middle. Shankar, diving shot, scores! Brandon Glover. And the Ryerson Rams are up 3-1. Brandon Glover, that's his first career goal in the OU way, and that extends the Ryerson Rams lead back to 2. Nosella gets it up to his forward on the left-hand side, Paliani. Back to Paliani, shot and scores! What a breakout play from the Ryerson Rams. Paliani to Fellows, back to Paliani, and just like that, the Ryerson Rams extend their lead to 4-1, and Paliani extends his point streak. And just like that, Strathroy's up 2-0. Daniel Aspro catches the Nationals defense sleeping, gets in behind, a great breakout pass, and he converts on the breakaway. He's been electric all game long, especially in the first period. We thought that he might have gone out of the game injured for a bit. He came back, and sure enough, he gets the insurance marker here in the third period. Excellent goal from Daniel Aspro, and all of a sudden, the Strathroy Rockets, with 12 and a half minutes to go here in the third period, have a 2-0 lead over the London Nationals. And it looks like the Nationals getting into it again. Freifogel, looks like a couple players are going after him. Referee having to control some London Nationals. And how about this? Zach Barrio, of all the people the Strathroy Rockets pest, is the one to score the empty netter and ice this game for the Rockets as they'll start the unofficial second half, their first game of 2020, with a win over the Western Conference leading London Nationals. How about that?
Whoa. Igor Shinikov
okay.
now? Whoa.
For context, he's not in Bob McKenzie's top 75.
Igor Shinikov already? Dude,
I know nothing about this guy.
What I will say here, this is insane. He was he's an overager who was ranked 174th on our consolidated board.
174th?
174th. What I will say here is these last two picks are a clear emphasis on the European League starting up, because the theme here is both Igor Chinikov and Shakir Mukhamadullin both have had excellent starts to their Russian campaigns. Mukhamadullin, 6 points in 14 games. Chinikov is only a slight overager and had some good numbers previously. He's a February 2001, so not crazy old, but definitely older. But the key here is 5 goals, 7 points in 12 games to start the KHL season with Avangard Omsk. That's why he's going this high. He should not be going in the first round, 21st overall. That's insanity. But back-to-back crazy picks here. Yeah, Hamzat Chimaev has stepped onto the UFC show big time. He won 2 fights in 2 different weight classes in just 10 days, the first ever to do that in UFC history. He got the big step up in competition here recently against Gerald Meerschaert, and he goes out and stops him in 17 seconds. Gerald Meerschaert is a guy that's consistently been in that 15 to 20 rank range in that middleweight class. And Hamzat Chimaev went out and stopped him in under 20 seconds. That's unheard of from a rising prospect. He's got the wrestling ability. He's got the knockout power. This is a guy to watch going forwards. I'm excited to see what that next step is. There's some rumors about Damian Maia or Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. That's a big step up coming here soon.
So who do you have replacing Matt Kenseth in the 42 car for 2021?
Well, today we got a very interesting report and a tie that I really hadn't made before, and it's Bubba Wallace's sponsorship with McDonald's and Chip
Who would have thought,
Ganassi's
hey, McDonald's
sponsorship with McDonald's. Hey, it works. It's a good tie to make, and it's something that I really hadn't thought about previously because I'd really made the tie with Bubba Wallace just returning to Richard Petty. But that being said, that tie kind of makes sense, but given the history that Ross Chastain has with that Chip Ganassi team, I feel like it's a foregone conclusion at this point that he ends up in that 42 car. It's interesting that report does come out, but I would be shocked if Ross Chastain doesn't take over that 42 car. We saw him perform in the Xfinity Series with their Xfinity program. He was going to run the full-time season last year until everything happened with DC Solar. But the fact that they've kept their ties, given everything that's gone on in the past year and a half, is very, very impressive to me. I think he's shown his talent with Paulig this year, going up against some bigger teams and competing just as well. As we mentioned last time out, he leads the series in top 10s. He doesn't quite have that win this season, but we saw him step in and do solidly in a short-term basis, taking over for Ryan Newman while he was out injured. And I feel like Ross Chastain finally gets his shot in top-level NASCAR equipment in the 42 car with Chip Ganassi next season.